worship behind.
Doja Cat is where it's at. I was asked about Doja Cat because there's some story about, well, there's been stories about her worshiping the devil. And someone said, well, you think this is good for my kids when this artist that my kids love worships the devil. Now, I don't know whether she worships the devil or not. I have no idea. Don't really care. Y'all know how I feel about Doja Cat. I'm not a huge fan of Doja Cat, but whatever. Don't care about that. But the question, do these types of things impact your kids? And this was a Christian woman asking me this question. She was Christian. So I'm back in the day. Back in the day, I feel like things got weird. Things are still kind of weird. Well, you couldn't, like, anything that had magic in it was considered of the devil. So there was a card game, Magic the Gathering. I don't know if that's still a thing. The Legend of Zelda video game, Final Fantasy, anything with magic in it at all, people. Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there was like some action stuff, like Mortal Kombat was considered of the devil, was so violent, stuff like that. It was like gateway to the devil. Kind of like weed. People would say like weed's a gateway drug. Now I think that's kind of silly. At the same time, maybe for you, maybe for an individual, perhaps, I'm not going to watch Mortal Kombat and then go out and just try to murder people and rip people's hearts out and stuff. I'm not going to play Magic the Gathering and then become a sorcerer and try to cast spells on people. But you might. I'm not going to smoke weed and then start smoking crack, but you might, right? I think it's silly to make a blanket statement that that's a gateway, but so yeah, same type of thing with Doja Cat or artists who may or may not worship the devil or dabble in devilish arts. Same type of thing, but maybe, I don't know. As far as worship though, worship to me is specific. Like, you can't accidentally worship something or someone. Like when I worship God, I'm focused on God. There's no accident there. You don't slide into worshiping God. But even if you're not a Christian, you're not a believer in God, you can still appreciate and give credit to things that are godly though, like peace or love or courage is a God thing. You might not view it as a God thing, but God is the one who gives you courage, or nature. God is the creator of all this. And even though they're not giving credit to God, you can still get involved in things that are godly, but still not worship, right? It's still two different things. And the opposite is true, like with the devil. To worship the devil, you'd have to be specifically focused on the devil, worshiping the devil, versus being into things like greed or lust or violence, or magic. Not necessarily worshiping the devil. Now it could slide there. Maybe for you, an individual, you could slide there. Maybe. It's like the MAGA cult, right? Just because you're a Republican, you voted for Trump, doesn't mean you're part of the MAGA cult. But maybe there's some overlap, and perhaps some people might slide, maybe, into MAGA. Maybe. So there's always outliers, is what I'm saying. So to answer your question directly, no, I don't think that your child listening to Doja Cat could be a problem, but your child might be susceptible, and maybe. But just watch him. You know what I'm saying? If you're that concerned about your kid, then maybe that your kid's kind of, and you might have to watch him. Perhaps Doja Cat could lead them into devil worship. I don't know, but probably not. Probably.